Hello and welcome back to Suspended Fanimation. I'm your host, Dennis Bithoulkas, and it's time for the Sunday edition of Saturday Morning Blast Off. Welcome, everybody. Let me take care of a couple of, no, let me just take care of some business first and we'll get down to it. If you like what you see here, like, share, and subscribe. If you're still on the fence about subscribing, take a look at the video that pops up at the very end here. YouTube takes the algorithms of all the stuff you've been watching and tries to match it as best as possible to one of the videos in my vast video library and pops it up here just for you. And if you like what you see there, hit that subscribe button down below there, please. And if you can, hit that like button, the share button as well. And if you feel lucky or you feel like gambling, you can hit that bell down below, and YouTube may or may not notify you when I come on live. Best thing to do is go over to suspendedfanimation.com. Take a look at the schedule I put up there. It's mostly right for the most part. Sometimes I'm late on some stuff because, I got other stuff going on. Also, I have all the links to my social media there and all the links to my pages as well on there. So let's get to it, shall we? Oh, and by the way, so I know I said I was going to do Lord of the Rings, episode 7, Power of the Rings. So I've been feeling a little under the weather this last couple of days, and also I've also been feeling, how should I say this, indifferent to Power of the Rings. And this last episode was uh, pretty much more of a to me on that one. So I'm probably going to do it later on this evening, is what I'm thinking I'm going to do. Just to cover it and finish it out. But yeah, we'll get to it. But sorry for the delay on that one. It's just like I said, it's been pretty for me. Anyway. So the big news, so New York City Comic Con, of course, has been this week. It's been, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and of course today, Sunday. So they've been announcing things here and there. Again, not as big as Comic Con, but there's still some stuff that gets released there. One of the things that was mentioned was, and this is big news. I like this series. The Legend of Vox Machina has been renewed for a third season, and again, this is ahead of the second season, even coming out yet on Amazon Prime. And the second season is supposed to be premiering on January 23rd or January 2023. We don't know exactly the date yet for when in January. We just know it's coming out in January. Excuse me. And for those of you who don't know what the Legend of Vox Machina is, it started off, I guess, as a D&D campaign, but with characters that some people that are actors that are in this group, and the group is called Critical Role, by the way, and they ended up creating these characters that they ended up doing these stories with that are they stayed in character, and this became an animated series. So the animated series, The Legend of Vox Machina, is on Amazon Prime. It's actually really, really good. It's adult in nature, of course. It's got pop culture references. It's very, for lack of a better word, sassy, I guess you could say, and pretty damn funny. So if you go back and take a look over in my Is It Worth My Time? I actually cover the first season already on there, and good stuff. So I'm glad they're getting a third season already ahead of their second season. I'm looking forward to the second season as well. Usually with Amazon Prime, they drop them all at once. Um, Again, it's an animated series, and Amazon Prime, that's kind of how they treat their animated series, except for Invincible. Invincible, they were dropping once a week, and no word on Invincible as of yet either, for those of you who are wondering about that. So I'm wondering about that as well, because it's been almost 2 years now, and we haven't heard anything yet. Speaking of more animated news, so we got that HBO Max is going to release a Harley Quinn Valentine special in February of 2023. So that's actually going to be kind of fun, where we get just an animated holiday special for Harley Quinn, between her and Poison Ivy. We'll see what happens with that. I'm looking forward to that. That should be. I like the show. I really do. So. Again, nothing but good news, especially since HBO Max is plagued with all kinds of doubt at the moment. And going over to some other news, well, I guess you could say some Star Trek news at this point. February 16th will be the final season of Picard as it premieres on Paramount Plus. and they're going to bring back. I honestly don't know who the woman is who's playing the villain in this third season. The trailer's up. It's on my webpage. You can also find it on YouTube, all that kind of stuff. Um, I want to say it's Amanda Plummer. I doubt it's Amanda Plummer. It's somebody else. I just don't know who. I could never see they'd never focused enough on her for me to kind of figure out who she is. But one of the main things they're bringing back Moriarty, who is from Star Trek: The Next Generation. They're actually bringing back that holodeck character who gains sentience, and Lore is coming back because of course Data is supposed to be dead at this point. So Stanley says, Picard, who cares? Exactly. Well, it's the final season, Stanley. So there are some Star Trek fans out there who do care. I'm not one of them. I like original Trek, original recipe Trek, not whatever, J.J. Abrams' version of it, or, you know, Picard, Star Trek Next Generation. Yeah, any of that stuff. Um, Also, if you haven't seen it yet, I have the trailer again up on my Facebook page for Violent Night is what it's called. And that's coming out to theaters on December 2nd. It stars David Harbour as Santa Claus. And Santa Claus is he walks in basically on, it's kind of like a Die Hard moment in somebody's home, in a billionaire's home, I guess it is. And yeah, it's from the makers of Nobody, and I forget what else they did. Something else that was also extremely violent, and this is no different. This is going to be very violent with Santa Claus actually beating the shit out of guys, and with candy canes and Christmas ornaments and things of that nature. So there you go. It looks interesting. But I also want to say it also kind of reminds me of does anyone remember the old Bill Murray movie Scrooged from the 80s? Where he made Lee Majors Santa Claus, or Lee Majors was helping Santa Claus with an infiltration of the North Pole. This is kind of what it reminds me of. It reminds me of someone did a live action version of that. So yeah. Christmas American style. Yes, it is, Stanley. It pretty much is. April 7th, 2023, we're going to get the Super Mario Brothers movie, and that's coming to theaters as well. So that trailer dropped with Chris Pratt, voicing Mario. It was a teaser trailer, I guess you could say, and had some scenes in it that weren't, altogether in sequence, I guess you could say. So it didn't really have a story to that. Anyway, I'm not going to go and see it in theaters. Yeah, I'll watch it eventually when it comes to Amazon Prime or something like that for free. But yeah, I'm not going to go spend money to go see that in the theaters. I am going to go spend money. Actually, I already did spend money for tickets for Black Adam, which comes out later on this month, the 21st, I want to say. So yes, I know the outrage. Chris Pratt is not even Italian. I agree with you. Yeah. So anyway, it looked pretty mediocre. That's all I'm gonna say. On October 23rd, will mark the last outing of Jodie Whittaker's Doctor Who in The Power of the Doctor, is what it's called. That is going to be a special called The Power of the Doctor on BBC, and I believe BBC America as well. So the trailer for that is up, and I was like, okay, that's great. I haven't watched Doctor Who since I think really the beginning of the David Tennant years, and that's when I kind of checked out. So yeah, I, mm, I got nothing to say about it. That's all I can say. But for those of you who are, interested in Doctor Who, you've got Doctor Who coming back. Also, in Star Trek news, October 27th, the second season of Star Trek Prodigy premieres on Paramount Plus. That's the animated series that has Captain Janeway. Well, I should say a 3D hologram of Janeway, helping some kids out. And I guess in season 2, the real Janeway, so both voiced by Kate Mulgrew, um, she's going to be hunting down the kids. Yeah. So, yeah, the real version, and then, of course, the holodeck version. So, yeah, I know there's people that liked it, so I'm just giving it to, like I said, there wasn't a lot of news, and I didn't have anything for spoiler alert, so this is kind of the happy medium is where I'm going with here. So, and again, there's not a lot. I've only got like 3 more things to run through, and then I'm done. October 28th, Neil Marshall's The Lair comes to theaters in digital release. So again, I put the trailer up on my Facebook page, and The Lair is a female pilot shot down in Afghanistan. She finds this bunker that has supposedly man-made monsters in it, and she escapes only to get back to her base to tell them that yes, there's these man-made monsters out there, and of course, they bring a small squad in to go and find out what's going on, and you know, horror ensues, and blood and gore and all that kind of stuff. So yeah. I'll probably watch it. I mean, it's Neil Marshall after all. I'll watch it, when it comes down to like a $3 rental fee or something like that. But I'm not going to pay $20 to see it. That's for damn sure. That looks like a rental. It actually really looks like a Amazon Prime freebie on that one. This one actually, on the other hand, looks decent. So October 28th, Run Sweetheart Run is premiering on Amazon. So this one's actually coming out on Amazon, and I'm okay with that. So Clark Gregg's in it. God, and from now I'm just blanking on everything here. Shurga, I can't remember her name now. Fuck, from The Expanse. So she's in it as well. She has a bit part in it anyway. The villain from Samaritan, the guy who looks like Michael Shannon. So he plays the main villain, and it's about a woman who goes out on a I guess a Tinder date, I guess you could say, or something like that, and finds out that the guy that she is going out on the date with is a serial killer. And he tells her, if you can survive the night with me hunting you down, you get to live. And so he chases her across LA, and he's not human from what it looks like. So go and watch the trailer. The trailer looks interesting. I'll watch it on Amazon Prime. It's it's a freebie at that point. So it's got a lot of people that in there. It actually stars the girl from um, Resident Evil. She was also in Charlie's Angels as well. I forgot that she was in the Charlie's Angels movie reboot, the one that the one that crashed and burned. Yeah. So I know I'm not being specific. It was the third Charlie's Angels movie, if you will. So there was 2 that were done with, Drew Barrymore, and then it was the one without Drew Barrymore and, the other ones. So but that looks interesting. It really does. And then finally, all I've got for you is Paul Greengrass has been hired to direct the latest Stephen King novel, Fairy Tale, is what it's called. So it'll be totally unwatchable, because if you've ever watched a Paul Greengrass movie, it's the camera doing that all the time. I believe it was the second Jason Bourne movie, if I'm not mistaken, or the third one. I think it was the third one, actually, where people were literally vomiting in the aisles because of the shaky cam. Yeah. I remember I tried watching that. I think I did go and see that in the theater. I think I was for somehow got a free pass or something, and I went to the theater, and I just closed my eyes during the motion scenes, because it was too much. I could see how people would get motion sickness because it was just really, really bad. So anybody who's going to be watching that, if you're a fan of Paul Greengrass, I'm sorry, but his movies are unwatchable. They really are. The first movie was not, Stanley. The first movie was done by Doug Liman, and Doug Liman actually knows how to shoot action scenes. Um, you know, and he arguably does some of the best car chase scenes, I would say, on film in cinema. My favorite car chase scene, besides Bullet, I mean, Bullet, is a great car chase scene, but I'm talking about modern car chase scene is actually from the movie Go that Doug Liman did. That is my favorite car chase scene in a movie, modern movie. Very well done. And of course, the Bourne movie, the first Bourne movie. That's my third favorite. Well, it's Bullet, then Go, then Bourne. Yeah. Stanley says, unfortunately, shaky cam became a trend. Yes, it became a trend to hide bad directing, is really what it became, Stanley. They're like, oh, we want the handheld experience, and it's like bullshit. You just don't know how to direct a scene. I was like Nolan in the first Batman movie where he was saying, "Oh, well, I was trying to make it look like the viewer was in on the fight as well, was there in the action." And it's like, no, dude, you fucked up a fight scene. You don't know how to direct a fight scene. We understand that because subsequent fight scenes in the other two Batman movies that he directed as well were unwatchable as well. They're not great. So. And, admittedly, fight scenes are really, really hard to choreograph and, plan out. And where do you put the cameras and, how to cut between them and all that kind of stuff. It's very, very tricky stuff. So you actually need to know what you're doing when you're doing that. Otherwise, you come up with a shaky cam bullshit thing. Yeah. So, and by the way, shaky cam came about from well, the name shaky cam, Sam Raimi. That's what he called it, was shaky cam, and that's what I've called it ever since. So, as can be seen in Rings of Power, yeah, Rings of Power, yeah. Every now and then, though, they have a clear shot. Stanley, they mount a camera for a second, so you can watch a horse ride by and lop off an orc's head. That's about it. And then you go back to shaky cam, and then you get a stable scene, and then that's fine. I mean, really, it is. One of the messier, well, it's almost a shaky cam scene, but it's stable as well. It's really kind of a odd scene. Now that I'm thinking about it, and I don't know why it just popped into my head, but Luke Besson's The Messenger, with Mila Jovovich, when they are running into battle into the castle, when they've breached the castle, and it's a one cut scene, and you are with the crowd as you're running into the castle, and it's exciting because of that, because it is a little shaky, but it's stable at the same time, and you're in the crowd and you feel like you're in that crowd of soldiers running into the castle. That's the only time I can say that it's been used successfully, where I was like, wow, I actually appreciated the way he did that. And but then again, it's Luc Besson, so it's one of those things that you kind of look at and you're like, you know masterclass in how to actually direct a scene. you know It's few and far in between, shaky cam, and it has to be used sparingly. It really does. You can't just make an entire movie out of shaky cam. Not unless you want vomit in the aisles during the theater, showings, and you know, that's a different movie altogether. So, yeah. But that's all I got for you guys news wise. I know there's more news coming out of New York City Comic Con, but it's just really trivial stuff. And there's some minor comic book notes here and there. Nothing really like big news coming out. And that's pretty much what I'm focusing on. It's just the big stuff at the moment, and pretty much I know what my viewers are looking for, which they're looking for more movie and TV news. They don't really care about the comic book news all that much, even though I throw it out there every now and then. But yeah, but What else do I have going on for the rest of this week? Well, tomorrow is going to be House of the Dragon. Tuesday is going to be another episode of Is It Worth My Time? And this time around, it's going to be Marvel's Werewolf by Night. So, Marvel's Werewolf by Night is a one shot. It is on Disney Plus right now. It came out on Friday. So, I'll be covering that. Wednesday will be Andor. Thursday will be the season finale of She-Hulk. That's right, the season finale of She-Hulk, which I'm disappointed that it's a season finale, but I know it has to end at some point. So there we go. Friday will be the season finale of The Rings of Power, which honestly I'm not so eh about that. So there we go. And then of course Saturday I'll be off, and then we roll back around again to the Sunday edition of Saturday Morning Blast Off, where I take the genre news of the week and any other genre stuff you guys want to talk about. You're welcome, Stanley. Yeah, the Munsters was just a shit show of oh, good God, that was bad. Rob Zombie's The Munsters is what I'm talking about there, and what Stanley's talking about. Uh, yeah, man, I understand. Did you watch any of it at all, Stanley? Did you even take a peek at it to see what it would, if I was, within the ballpark of it or not? Because I mean, no, nothing. You didn't watch it at all. Yeah, good man. It's really not worth watching. Um, I even questioned myself, and when I started to watch it, I'm like, do I really want to do this? Because I had heard how bad it actually was, and I was like, I know it's gonna be bad. I saw the trailers too for it, and I all the stuff that I look at, I keep seeing stuff popping up like, Rob Zombie's behind the scenes, and then also he just kept releasing little bits here and there, and I saw a good majority of them to the point where I'm like, wow, this looks really, 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 really bad. And it was really, 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 really bad. So, which just goes to show you, kids, if you make enough really bad movies out there, Netflix will give you money to make some more bad stuff as well. Or if you act in, really bad stuff, and they will finance your vacation to Mexico or wherever else you feel like filming your Netflix movie of the week. Yeah, just light everything in green and pink. That's it. That's pretty much it too. And the really bad, you know, Halloween store props that they had going on in the back there. Just put that cotton cobweb everywhere. No, no, don't mind about it. If it catches on fire, we have all the exits blocked anyway. No one can leave. Yeah, it's ugh. Yeah. The less said about that show, the better. So with that said, I'm gonna let you guys go for the rest of the day. It's supposed to be trashy. Yeah, I know. Thank you, everybody who joined me today in the chat. Well, Stanley. And thank you if you made it this far in the video. If you're still on the fence about subscribing, take a look at the video that pops up at the very end here. YouTube takes the algorithms of all the stuff you've been watching and tries to match it as best as possible to one of the videos in my vast video library and pops it up here just for you. And if you like what you see there, hit that subscribe button if you can down there. And if you can, also that like button and the share button as well. And if you want to know when I'm going to be on live again next, go over to suspendedfanimation.com. Take a look at the schedule I have up there. I change it every week. Also have all the links to my social media there and all the links to my pages as well. I'm probably going to come back later on tonight and do, the Rings of Power, the one I missed. And it's going to be a short one for the most part. But, other than that, um, you have a nice Sunday as well, Stanley. I'm going to let you guys go. Have a good rest of your Sunday. I will see you again probably later on tonight. Until then, don't let the door hit your house on the way out. Otherwise, you may end up getting a little bit loopy because you had the flu shot, and you know, sometimes it hits you, sometimes it doesn't. But anyway, you're going to be better off for it anyway. Thanks, everybody. I will see you again probably later on tonight. Until then, stay safe, be well, take care, wear those masks, get those vaccine shots, get the boosters as well. They don't work without the boosters. And I will see you again later on tonight. Until then, have a good rest of your Sunday and see you later. Thanks, everyone. Have a good one.